Iran's government is changing its tone. Government spokesperson Fatemeh Mohajirani says the regime is taking the protests seriously, admits there is a real cost of living crisis, and claims the government is working urgently to resolve the economic collapse. She insists the demands of the Iranian people are clear and legitimate. But then comes the warning. The regime will not allow enemies to exploit these legitimate grievances. Recognition followed immediately by a threat. The Fatah movement in Lebanon is expected to hand over weapons today to the Lebanese army from the Ain al-Hilweh refugee camp near Sidon. This is part of Lebanon's broader effort to centralize weapons under state control. At the same time, Egypt, Turkey, and Qatar have delivered a clear message to Hezbollah. This is the last chance to surrender weapons to the state. If not, my destructive war with Israel is approaching. Sources report that former Syrian military intelligence chief Kamal al-Hassan and businessman Abu Ali Qadr, both close to the Assad family, have held meetings with Israeli intelligence figures. Their request: Israeli backing for Syria's coastal regions. Why now? Russia is no longer eager to provide protection or political cover to the Alawite community, especially as Moscow draws closer again to Damascus. The proposal raised: a separation project, autonomy from Syria under Israeli and European sponsorship. European concern over new refugee waves is driving interest. Thousands of former regime officers are reportedly ready to rebel, but are waiting for external backing. According to Syria TV, coordination is already underway between former regime figures, Kurdish forces, SDF, Druze leaders in Suwaida. The goal: building a network of minority understandings across Syria. Diplomatic sources add that Kamal al-Hassan's communication with Israel predates Assad's collapse, sometimes through Russian intelligence channels. Even Rami Makhlouf, Assad's cousin and former economic powerhouse, reportedly met an Israeli diplomatic official in another Middle Eastern country. His message: the Alawites need protection under Sunni rule. Thousands of Alawites have taken to the streets in Tartus, Latakia, and Homs. They protest repeated attacks against their communities and demand federal governance. Demonstrators burned portraits of Bashar al-Assad, rejecting claims they are merely remnants of the old regime. This is no longer silent dissent. Lebanese newspaper Al-Akhbar reports that Hamas failed to reach a compromise to appoint Mohammed Darwish as head of the political bureau. The attempt was meant to avoid a power struggle between Khaled Mashal and Khalil al-Hayya. Both remain leading contenders. Darwish was once a shadow figure, focused on fundraising abroad. After the assassination of Ismail Haniyeh, his name rose again. But leadership now remains undecided. Hamas will choose a new leader soon, followed by elections across Gaza, the West Bank, the diaspora, and prisons. Lebanese daily Ad-Diyar reveals new details about the disappearance of Ahmad Shukr, a relative of a senior Hezbollah figure and a retired security officer. Lebanese investigators say the lack of evidence along his travel route strengthens the assessment of a professional operation. Security footage shows a suspicious vehicle. A witness described a real estate lure used to trap him. Lebanese security officials are now nearly convinced the Mossad was involved. 2 Swedish citizens are suspected, one of Lebanese origin. The shadow of Ron Arad still looms. Hezbollah MP Ali Fayed says, if Israel adheres to UN Resolution 1701, Hezbollah is open to discussion, but only south of the Litani River. Everything north of it, he insists, is an internal Lebanese matter. Weapons stay. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan declares, we will not remain silent until those responsible for genocide in Gaza are held accountable. No retreat in tone, no de-escalation. Iran appoints Fadavi as head of the advisory group to the IRGC commander, a move signaling internal consolidation. Turkey's interior minister announces the arrest of 125 ISIS suspects across 25 provinces. A sweeping operation and a reminder the threat never vanished. Al-Manar reports that in the first minutes of the new year, Israeli forces advanced toward the village of Kila and detonated a house. The year opens with explosives. Saudi outlet Asharq al-Awsat reports that Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey sent Hezbollah a final message. Disarm, or Lebanon faces political isolation, economic collapse, and Israeli attack. The pressure is international now. Lebanese Prime Minister Nawaf Salam vows reforms, expanded state authority, and continued efforts to end Israeli aggression. He praises the army and security forces for safeguarding stability. Words at a fragile moment. Iran's Tasnim News reports the arrest of 7 individuals accused of planning violent gatherings and linked to hostile groups based in the U.S. and Europe. Control tightens as unrest grows. While leaders debate second and third circle threats, they ignore the first circle, the most dangerous one. Weapon smuggling from Egypt and Jordan continues. Just yesterday, the IDF intercepted a drone carrying 20 M16 rifles. This is not criminal, it is terror preparation. Armed gangs inside Israel are not arming by accident. The risk, an internal explosion, kidnappings, massacres, sustained terror, a country can fall from within. Iran confirms its first death among Basij forces during the protests. Basij member Alireza Kodaifar was killed in Khorramabad. 13 security personnel injured. Basij bases burned. Police vehicles torched. Governor offices attacked. If this pace continues, the regime must choose iron fist or loss of control. An opinion piece asks the real question. The Iranian people are patient, persistent, strategic. The regime knows how to release pressure without breaking, but this time is different. Iran's weakness has been exposed. Even if the uprising fails now, the regime's prestige is shattered. The collapse has begun. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu recounts meeting a 101-year-old Holocaust survivor in Miami. He promised him, never again. The bond between Israel and the Jewish diaspora, he says, is stronger than ever. Shin Bet police and the IDF dismantled a drone-based weapons smuggling ring in the Negev. 4 Israeli citizens were arrested. 1 drone carried 4 MAG machine guns. This was not theoretical. This was operational. Indictments have now been filed.